Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Corporate America. Now, this theme is just something that interests me. And there's a lot of these games that come down to the satire and the money on this, which just money's flowing everywhere. And it turned me off a little bit. I like the idea of a realistic corporate America, and I get the jokes. Hardy, har, everybody's greedy, everybody's going after money, everybody's bribing everybody. Gotcha. Cool. I'm a small business owner, and I don't own a multi-billion-dollar organization, so I don't see that side of it. What I see a lot is a lot of other hardworking American small business owners trying to make ends meet. This game is trying to look at the big companies, and particularly it has a political aspect to it. But it does so in a satire. So you have to be okay if you're a Democrat or Republican or a Libertarian or a teabagger or whatever affiliation you have, that you're okay being made fun of, but be okay with it because they're also going to make fun of the people you don't agree with. So you're going to make fun of everybody, and I think they do so light enough and funny enough, and it's not like you're an idiot for thinking this or that. So, very well done. The box says 90 to 120 minutes. I don't see how on earth it would take that long. We played in about an hour, but we put the bidding on a timer, and this may be where the game failed for us, because we didn't bid a lot. We didn't see a lot of value in picking the president. What it came down to, there were groups of people who kind of bid for this one person and that person, and eventually said, you know what, it's not worth it, because money is victory points. You're giving up victory points. So let's say they're going to enact a law where you lose $2 if food goes through, and you have two of those icons. So at most you're going to lose $4. So you're really not going to bid more than 3, because you won't make a profit off of it. So you kind of know. And are they going to pick that one? Out of 8, they pick 3. So are they really going to pick that one to screw you? Maybe that's a risk I'll take to not go up to 3 victory points. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was always worth it to spend my money bribing people. There were times where a consumer card came out and be like, well, I'll just split it with you. If you pick this, I'll split the money with you. Because I know you're going to go, I'm going to score like 25 points off this, which is blowing everybody out of the water. $25. I'll give you a half, you take 13 and I'll take 12, and we both win. Otherwise, I was going to get nothing. So he may be one up on me, but I'm getting paced on everybody else. So that happened. This is a fine game. It's fine, but your group has to get into bidding for that president. And I'm not sure the value was there to really get that going. I don't know why you did 3 rounds to it. That just seemed pointless. And I think it needs a timer. You want to keep this moving. As a light, quick game that we played in less than an hour, we had a good time. For a 2-hour game, I don't think I would have had a good time. And maybe I would have had a better time if people really got into it. But I just don't think that the values were there. If I'm going to lose $2, the way I understood it, the game didn't last very long. So, it is what it is. For me, this is going to be a purge. It just wasn't enough there. I like the theme. I like the game okay. It just wasn't enough there for me. There's other interesting games that I had. That's not necessarily a knock on the game. I think if your group is going to get into that presidential bidding and kind of fight over that a little bit more, you're going to have more of an enjoyment in this game. Now, one of the things I noticed about it, I'm going to take a moment just to look here for a second, but maybe I understood the rules incorrectly, but when you shuffle the executive privilege deck, you're going to put 3 cards on the board face down. That means the game is going to last 3.5 rounds. Each round you take an executive, and then you get back to the consumer after you pay out, the game ends. you're going to start a 5-player game. You're going to put 3 businesses down. And so 3 more rounds, I'm going to put, so 6 total business cards I'll play in the game. I mean, those are available that have synergy on 7 cards. I'm not really sure that's possible, maybe in a 3 or 4 player game. But the chances of me having an icon on every single card, and that -2 being, say I had on 4, and that -2 is actually -$8. The most I would bid would be 7. I mean, that'd be max. Otherwise, I would make a profit. So I didn't really see that probably only made sense to those of you that have played the game, but I just didn't see the value in the bidding for the president, and that has to work for this game to work, because that's where the fun is going to be at. Now, I would honestly probably compare this game to Primetime, which is a game I ended up keeping. Primetime lives probably more on this theme more than this does, and this probably has less problems than Primetime. So sometimes it's just a matter of what it fits in your group more than probably the quality of the game. So Corporate America for me is going to be a Purge, although it's a tough Purge for me. And if I had a different group to play it with, or those values were there, I think that I would have rather have kept this game. Here are the components for Corporate America. So as the board kind of set up, you're going to get a presidential seal. This will just a little piece of paper that's folded, but it will be given to whoever the president. You're going to have executive privilege cards, which have incredibly small font on them, to be honest, but that's what they look like. We're going to have business cards that you will be utilizing throughout the game. Let's see what this is. Why is it in the wrong place? They all have the same backs. You'll see lots of blank space here because some of these will have, or some of them will have powers that will be over there. But for the most part, the only thing that matters is this price, and these icons. You're going to have the Washington Monument, which will move around the board to show you which area of the game that you're in. We get a deck of consumer cards, which will have icons that match the business cards. Every once in a while, you'll get a protest card, and everything is satire in here, so it's got that political humor. They make fun of everybody equally, so hopefully you can laugh at yourself. Then you have legislation cards, which will be laws that you can put in. And really, the only thing that matters really is the little sentence right here, and that's the icon that will be affected. Whether it's a law or not can be important. All the cards are very high quality. I didn't have any problems with this. You're going to get a bunch of money. These are little cards. Pretty good cards. They come in a whole bunch of different denominations, as you can see. I like that. Better than paper money, I suppose. Next components. The board is very colorful, laid out very well. It's multi-use, which you'll see in the flow of the game. It's a Kickstarter game. Everything is very well made. I'm very happy with all of the components. The rules for Corporate America were very clear. I didn't really have any problems in learning the rules. If anything, I wish the game maybe lasted a couple more rounds. We breezed right through this game, but like I said, we didn't do a lot of negotiations because we didn't see the value in it. And you know, that might just be our misunderstanding, and it may just didn't work for us, but the math doesn't add up to me. Otherwise, the rules are pretty clear. The game flows pretty easily. I like how the Washington Monument goes from space to space on the board. Very good. Otherwise, I'm going to say the rules were very good, especially for what I think was a Kickstarter game. Okay, the way the game plays is fairly easy. Based on how many players you have, you'll put a number of executive privilege cards down here. Based on the number of players, you draw a number of cards, and you will start with a number of businesses. And what you're kind of looking for here on the businesses, what you're going to want, is you're going to want to have synergy, which is having icons that match. So when the game starts, you're going to get, based on the number of players, you're going to start with a number of businesses already in play. You will pay the number on red. So to play these two, I'd pay $12. And these would be my businesses. Really, the only thing that matters is the icons. And then I say I could start with one more. I start with this one for 5. And then that's just how you set the game up. Normally what you would do is you would draw 2 businesses. You can play one, pay the cost, in this case $12. That's another business I have in play. Then you would discard a card, and you'd move on. And then the game would move to the main street. And the way this works is you have consumer cards, and there's a price little thing. I know you can't see it, but basically what that means is I get the first card for free. And then if I want to draw another card, it will cost me $4. Now, because I'm collecting food, I have the food icon, 2 different cards. I'm going to want to buy this and play it. So I can draw as many cards as I want, really. The price goes up. So for the first card, it's free. The second one is 4. The third one is 6. Fourth one is 8 and 10. So if I drew 3 cards, I'd pay $4 for the second one and $6 for the third one for a total of 10. I'm going to play this one down. And then the other one goes in a discard pile. Now everybody who has the food symbols are going to score for it. So I get $6 for this one. Can you see that? And $10 for the second one for $16. But I also have synergy, which is right here on the board. If I have 2 icons that are the same, I get an extra $2. If I have 3 icons, 5, all the way up to 7 with 27. I think that'd be really hard to get. But so I would get my $16. And I'll get my synergy cost of 2. So I would get a total of $18. And this would continue on until everybody puts this 8 cards out. If there's only 5 players, some people put out more than 1 card. After you score all of those cards, these will go in the discard. Now, when a card is played, remember, everybody scores for it. And then we'll go from Main Street down to the campaign trial. And this is fairly easy. What you'll do is you'll take 6 of these legislation cards out. Now, I'm going to stack the deck a little bit. Because when you're going through these consumer cards, it is possible for protest cards to come out. And those come out when one is drawn, and you would just draw another one for free. So I'm going to pretend like 2 protest cards come out, because I just kind of want to show you while I'm going through this how they would work. So at this point, what you would do is you would come down to this. And what players are going to do, let me show you some of this. So this allows you to revoke a law. If this law went into place, a speculation tax, everybody who's a finance icon, when they score it, will score $2 less. This one, if you have the polluting icon, and you'll notice that some of these cards have blue icons and red. The red means during the legislation phase, which we're in, it's possible for negative laws to come up and affect that, because those could be negative things. So you're going to be bidding with the other players. You're going to have 3 rounds of bidding. The rules don't state it, but we tend to put a time limit to each of these rounds, and the game moved really quickly when we did that. And basically you're going to be bidding on other players or yourself an amount of money to make them the president. So you will bid. After the 3rd round of bidding, 1, 2, 3, you will then flip over all the money and cards in front of everybody. These are the cards that you bid with. And whoever has the most money becomes the president. They go here. The president gets to take an executive privilege card, which will give them a bonus. In this case, take $10 from a player's campaign contributions to add to your personal fortune. It allows you to steal $10 from somebody. Remember, money is victory points. So what he will do then, I put the consumer cards in the wrong place. 2 more legislation cards will come out. And then he will pick 3 laws that will be enacted, and they'll be placed down here. Now, where the protests come in, you have to take care of these protests. We'll just say this one. So the donkey, the liberal one. The liberal agenda. You will take all the cards that have the liberal agenda. You can see this has a liberal agenda, as is this one. And you have to choose one of these to enact. So let's say they do the -2 pollution. This one goes back out. You've taken care of the protesters. They're now happy. That goes in a discard pile. And now we have to take care of the Republicans, the elephants. And they want zombie Reagan for president. The humor is really funny in this game. So that means I would take all the Republican ones, which they call conservative, and I would have to enact one of these. Revoke a law. Labor and businesses are -2. So let's say I took this one, because I want to get rid of that law, pollution, because it hurt my card. Remember, the president is picking all those, and these come back out. Then I would pick one more law, or some of these aren't laws. It's like this, doesn't have the law icon. It just happens. Divide $15 as you choose between people players who own the transportation business. So they need maybe put this one in line, and these laws carry over from turn to turn. They add rules to the game. They're add, subtract from the bonuses that you're getting, etc. You go back up to Wall Street, and you do the same thing over and over again. And you keep going around to the board until there are no executive privileges, and you put, for a 5-player game, it's only 3 rounds. When it's empty, and you stop at Main Street. And you get your cash. That's it. You score your or you count up all your money. Whoever's the most money is the winner. The game is really simple. It's really a negotiation game. It's really a game where you're going to be bidding on who's president. This kind of thing of matching the icons is fairly easy and straightforward. The game comes alive when you role play, get into the theme of the satire of the game, and you just kind of act like a fool and you bid. That's going to be where the game is really going to come alive. Who should buy this game? Groups that like to negotiate, and groups that can kind of get into that whole presidential bidding aspect. You really need to be able to bribe, and you really need a group. Like when I play with my groups, a lot of times I'm the guy they gang up on. I do tend to win a lot, and I tend to present the game, so they have this idea that I know the game a lot. But from those that play a lot of games, a lot of times you haven't played it a lot or as deeply as they think that you have. With that said, it's common for people not to want to take deals with me, or because they think, oh, he knows what he's doing, so this deal will come out in his favor. When in reality, this game's going to work best when everybody at the table is willing to deal with everybody. That's why I bring that up. The bribing has to go on. You have to like the satire in it, the jokes, which I tended to like. Thought they were funny and very clever. It just probably wasn't a deep enough experience for me. The box has 90 to 120 minutes. I mean, you have to be arguing a lot about things to get to that time limit. I don't get it. But we did play the Draw the Cards. The rule book recommends playing that simultaneously. We also played that simultaneously. My group does well with that. So you would know where your group would play in that. But otherwise, this is a fine game. I think a lot of people are going to play this and like it. I liked it. Just not enough to keep it in my collection. I got to start making some tougher decisions with what I'm keeping. So this one's going to go out the door and be purged.